Most people who start making resin crafts waste weeks, sometimes months, on projects that never sell. They buy molds, pigments, glitter, all kinds of stuff, and end up with a shelf full of things that just sit there collect. Nobody wants them, not even for free. They post them online, get a few likes from friends being polite, and then wonder why nothing ever turns into an actual sale. It's not because their resin work is bad, it's because they picked the wrong projects to begin with, ones that look fun to make but that almost nobody is actually searching for or willing to pay for. But there's a smarter way to do this. If you know exactly which resin projects people actually want to buy, skip all that wasted time and start making real money almost right away, instead of guessing your way through months of trial and error. Let's start with ocean wave resin coasters. These are one of the easiest projects for someone brand new to resin. They sell incredibly well, especially in the warmer months or as gifts for anyone who loves the beach. All you're doing is layering blue and white resin, tilting your mold around so the colors move like water, then adding a bit of white on top to look like seafoam. You don't need any special skills. You don't even need to be precise. The more natural and uneven it looks, the more it actually looks like real ocean water. One thing beginners get wrong here is over-mixing the colors until they turn one flat blue. Keep the layers separate and let the tilting do the work instead of stirring everything together. Another small thing that trips people up is pouring the resin too thick in one go, which traps bubbles and turns your ocean cloudy instead of glassy. Thin layers poured slowly with a heat gun or torch passed lightly over the top will give you that clean, glossy look buyers expect when they see these online. What makes these sell is how they make people feel. A lot of buyers aren't just buying a coaster, they're buying a little piece of a vacation, a memory, or a feeling of calm they get from looking at the ocean. That emotional pull is why people are happy to pay $20 to $34, even though the materials probably cost you less than $10. Sell them as a set instead of one at a time, because sets feel like a complete gift, and people rarely buy just one coaster on its own. If you want to push that price even, it's probably cost you less than $10. Sell them as a set instead of one at a time, because sets feel like a complete gift, and people rarely buy just one coaster on its own. If you want to push that price even higher, package the set in a simple craft box with a ribbon and a little card describing the inspiration behind the design. That kind of presentation makes a $10 material cost feel like a $30 experience, and buyers remember that when they're deciding whether to leave a good review. Next is resin geode trays, and this one has a bit more of a wow factor. You're basically recreating the look of a sliced open crystal or gemstone using layers of different colored resin, some glitter, maybe a few small fake chips, and a gold-painted edge around the border. It looks way more advanced than it actually is, which is exactly why it's such a good project for beginners. The visual impact is high, but the technique underneath it is still pretty forgiving, since uneven edges and random color breaks actually make it look more like a real geode. A simple trick here is pouring your colors into separate cups first and adding them to the mold in small pools instead of trying to mix them directly inside, since that gives you way more control over where each color ends up. Geode trays do well because they look expensive. People see something that looks like it belongs in a home decor magazine and they don't think about it, they just see the value. That perception lets you charge more, usually somewhere between $40 and $60 depending on size, even though your actual cost per tray stays fairly low. A gold paint pen for the edges makes a huge difference here. That thin gold line is what tells people's brains this is a premium item, so don't skip it. Because these take longer to cure and involve more steps, they're also a great project to photograph and share as content, since people love watching the layers come together, and that kind of behind-the-scenes footage tends to bring in buyers who feel invested before the piece is even finished. Third on the list is resin flower keychains, and if you're looking for the cheapest project to start with, this is probably it. You take small dried flowers, either real pressed ones or the fake ones that hold their shape better, and seal them inside a small piece of clear resin with a keychain ring attached. That's it. No